Sifu, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
My friend told me he seems like he's getting a depression.
Oh.
And so I wonder, how do we differentiate between just a normal sadness and actual depression?
He's getting depression.
He says he might getting depression.
Oh. Yeah, this is the tricky thing, isn't it? Because it's not the mental states, emotional states are not visible. Yeah. So, like, if now I tell you that I got a bruise on my head, I got a bruise on my arm, you can check for yourself, you can see, okay, that is a bruise. Of course, beyond that, then it's also hard to determine, because some people may get a bruise, but they don't, they continue to function normally. But some people get a bruise and then they are incapacitated. Yeah. And then you can say, yeah, just like that. You know, that time my whole hand broken, no, I still go to work. Yeah. But some people, maybe they just have a bit of tear in the fingernail, they cannot do anything already. So how? Then the worst, to make things worse, when it comes to, let's say, emotional states, let's say nowadays, in modern times, we have classification such as depression, anxiety, disorder, and so on and so forth. From what I know, the tools that are used to determine would be a series of combination of checklists plus I think some level of observation. Yeah, but I think a lot of this is self-diagnosis, because the doctor would ask, I mean, not the doctor, the psychologist would ask you, yeah, unless you go and see a neuro scientist or neurosurgeon, and then they do a scan. Yeah, I saw this short docu, yeah, and this guy who is, I think he's a neurologist, and he said that there was this case of a young kid who was misbehaving, yeah, in school, yeah, and then was initially diagnosed as having ADHD, and I can't remember the exact reasons why, but he was given a scan, a CT scan, and then the CT scan shows that there was a growth in the there was some growth in the head area or something. Yeah, and it was pressing on certain parts of the brain, and it causes the change in behavior. And so when a surgery was done, and immediately the behavior changed back to normal. Yeah. So this neuroscientist was saying that psychology or in all of medical science, there is a process of verifying, empirically verifying the ailment. Yeah, so if you have difficulty breathing, then they scan your lungs and so on and so forth. Yeah. So in psychiatry, at least in psychology, there's no verification with the physical body, right? From what I know, and at least from that document, or correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert in either field, so a bit tricky. Yeah. Many years back, there was this guy. I say sometimes I keep using boy and girls. Then you all think that it's only 13 years old. So there was this youth. He was about in his maybe mid-20s, early mid-20s. So there was a period of time I would go to Pumingsi to give classes on, I think, Thursday. And he would come and pick me up. Yeah, he would come over and then we'll take a cab there. So oftentimes when he finished class earlier, he would come earlier, like maybe 4+, and then he would chat with me until about 6+7, then we'll take a cab. Usually about 6+, then we'll take a cab over. So one day he told me that he's been diagnosed with clinical depression. Yeah. And he talked to his Rinpoche. His Rinpoche also say, oh, you look quite depressed or something. So I look at him and I'm like, huh? Why are you depressed over? He said, I still don't know. In fact, he don't even know that he has depression. So that afternoon, it was quite funny. I cut short the chit chat. Then I told him, come, let's go for a walk. Then he said, oh, walk where? So I said, we walk to Pumingsi. Then his first reaction was, we were at the Buddhist library. So he said, Sifu, that will take the whole day. I said, no lah, shouldn't take so long. I walk from Gongming-san to Geylang, take me about 3 hours. So he's like, huh, really? I said, yeah. So so in there we walk. The first time we walked, it took a bit longer, 3 hours+. Yeah, we had a break in between, and then walk all the way there. Eventually, this became a weekly thing, all the way until until I went for my retreat, and then handed the group cultivation. It was a group cultivation for SIMBB, SIM Buddhist Bhavana. Yeah, more for the alumni because it was. Was it for the alumni? Yeah, it was for the alumni. So anyway, eventually he kind of don't have depression anymore. Yeah. One could say that those who have depression will be very quick to say that may be very quick to say that his is probably like mild depression, Yeah, could be. I can't tell, but how do we know, right? How do we know that he only had that mild depression? Yeah, of course, psychologists have done a lot of different studies and they have certain metrics and things like that. Yeah, but I always wonder, why is it that people who have depression are very adamant that they have depression? And if if anyone were to suggest an anecdotal counterfactual, right? That means something that suggests otherwise. They are very quick to suggest that y'all don't understand what they are going through. Y'all don't understand that the other person probably don't have depression. But the principle applies to it. There are two statements here. One is, y'all don't understand what I'm going through. Two is, the other person you probably didn't have severe depression. The two are opposing, So I don't know. I've been having chats with different students, different people about this topic. I don't want to dismiss depression altogether. Yeah, because the effects, the outcome is is visible. Yeah, there are people who become dysfunctional. Dysfunction meaning that they just can't function normally, right? So I don't know what is your friend's current state. Yeah. But I I tend to want to suggest for people to try to do something about it. Yeah. What is your friend's current state?
Current state?
Like you said that he may have depression, right?
Yeah.
Or rather, he says that he may have depression.
Uh,
So from what I remember of the checklist, right? Some of the things include like not having interest in interacting with people, not having interest in things in general, among many other things. Yeah, basically feeling like life is meaningless kind of thing, you know. Yeah, and when I saw those checklists in the past, I was like, that's exactly how I felt when I was in uni, you know, in my second year. Yeah, after I messed up my second year's exam. Yeah. So I wonder if I was born earlier, I would probably have been diagnosed with depression. Yeah. But fortunately, I wasn't born that early, that late. Sorry, if I were born later, not earlier. If I were born 10 years later, I would have been diagnosed with depression. And given the sentiments and climate of what we observe in the later generation, then I would have basically, I would possibly have said that, oh, I have depression, I can't study anymore. I need to take a sabbatical. And then after 1 year, I may still not feel well enough. Then I may take another year of sabbatical. And eventually I may have dropped out. And then I wouldn't have finished my studies. Then my parents will still be worrying for me how I'm going to take care of myself. Yeah, maybe my father wouldn't have dementia because he'll be busy working very hard to 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 pay the bills. But but that didn't happen. Yeah, and these are just speculation. I don't know. What I do know is in the Buddhist teaching, we train ourselves to learn to be aware of our mental states, and that includes emotions. Okay, to be aware of our emotional states, mental states, and then to uh, recognize whether they are wholesome or unwholesome, whether they are detrimental to the path or not. And if it's detrimental to the path, to exercise certain techniques, yeah, that we call countermeasures, 对治法, yeah, to overcome them. There are only a few categories that the Buddha in the teachings never directly say there's a countermeasure. So, for example, there are a few categories such as 若癫若狂若病. Yeah, so that then becomes tricky, right? Because nowadays, emotional state is considered an illness. Because in the Buddha's time, it's not considered an illness. You know, that there are countermeasures. Yeah, because like now, anger, there's such a thing as anger management, right? But anger is anger lah. You overcome it lah. You know, but now there's anger management. It's seen as something that is sort of like beyond us. Yeah. But it's me, one person against the whole of Western. You know, I wouldn't say Western, more like modern concept of what emotions is. Yeah. But if you look at the Buddha's time, it's always, let's see what we must know first and foremost that this is a state that you want to be in, and then to say what are the countermeasures for this. That there are opposing states that you can practice, that can tune your mind towards, and it can counter these mental states. I mean, ask yourself, right? So today we have depression. So how about greed? How about lust? How about anger? How about jealousy? I mean, is it possible that a person is so angry that he becomes dysfunctional or she becomes dysfunctional? Yeah, it's possible. Then should it be also then classified as a disorder, anger disorder? Is there such a thing as anger disorder? Maybe there is already. Yeah. Then should we then say, oh, can that person then say, you don't understand how angry I am. Yeah, I just can't control myself anymore. Is it, maybe there may come a day we all, that human beings start to say, oh, cannot be helped, he was angry. Yeah. But that is the path towards samsaric existence, basically giving into whatever emotional states arise and then just saying, because I'm like that, so like that. Yeah. So I can't, where's Marcel? Oh, Marcel is there, okay. Because different people block out, then move around. So if your friend is keen, he can perhaps try some, in a way, mental exercises. Yeah. Yeah, to learn to be aware of the emotions first. But beyond that, I have some thoughts which I saw some some therapies or psychologists seem to agree that the trouble with the present situation is a lot of people don't have responsibility. Yeah, they don't have any sense of responsibility or duty towards others. I mean, ask yourself, right? If you have uh, if you have parents and younger siblings to take care of, do you have time to feel depressed? Yes, you may feel sad. You may, and again, there's no way to measure how depressed or how sad you are compared to the next person. I'm pretty sure my parents' generation, a lot of them were depressed, but they bite the bullet and go. There's this saying, right? Bite the bullet and go. Yes, it's tough, but you bite the bullet and go because there are more important things than your emotions. But nowadays, it's politically incorrect to say such thing. Oh, so this monk, how can this monk be so insensitive? I'm sure there'll be people commenting on this. But ask yourself, right? People in the past, you mean they don't have depression? Times were tougher. I'm sure that, like, you ask yourself, how many people in the past, they work in shitty jobs, but no choice. Kena scolded, kena like emotionally, mentally, verbally abused by the boss, also bopian. Sherry says, Shifu, depression is caused by emptiness. Don't use the word emptiness because it's already used in Buddhism for a specific purpose. Yeah, Kongshi is not emptiness. I mean, maybe outside world use the word emptiness, but because in Buddhism, Sherry, have you not heard the term emptiness used to describe the lack of inherent existence and Heart Sutra?
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
So don't sorry, but have to be careful in our way of expression, because otherwise you use this statement.
Okay.
Then non-Buddhists will be like, oh, so the teaching of emptiness is Kongshi. Then they will draw the wrong conclusion. Emptiness is not Kongshi. Yeah.
Okay.
Kongshi can mean many things. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah. Having said all I said, I can't say for sure that okay, you are like this or like that. Yeah. But to me, it's more about individuals. You have to ask yourself, you have to decide first. Do you want to let your life be ruled by how you feel, Or do you want to decide how you want to feel? You know, which is it? Yeah. Various studies have found that one, going for walks, especially in nature, can help overcome depression, right? So I was sharing with a student, I said, but if that's the case, then it means that it's not how do I put it? That you can do something about it, ma. Yeah, but you need to want to do something. You cannot, if you start off with the premise that I'm depressed, so I cannot do anything, then end of story, lor. Who can help you, right? If you already have a fixed mindset, I can't do anything. And I kid you not, I've heard this so many times from different individuals. Yeah. And again, back in the days, people will not say such things. Maybe there are, but it's far and few because why? You know why? Because they care about their family more than themselves. They cannot bear to see that their siblings will not have a future, that their parents are working so hard. So they say, okay, yes, I feel very shitty. I feel like there's no meaning in my life. But in the first place, maybe they don't have this thought. Why? Because their purpose, their meaning is to care for the people that they care for. Now, I don't want to, again, draw any conclusion about your friend or anybody out there who has depression. Yeah, everybody have their own issue that they are facing. Yeah. But again, unless we are saying that, you know, depression, now human beings are just different. I mean, we are all different, but should we just resign ourselves to this and say, no, we can't do anything? Yeah. For those who have this mindset, no, I have depression, number one, and it's something that is beyond me, I can't do anything, then I can only pray for you. Then I can only need for you. Yeah. I mean, there's really no point talking further, is it? If a person can tell you, I'm like that. Because that's basically like those, you know, in Hong Kong movies, the gangster, you know, like when someone, now, of course, they are very different, right? But the similarity is both basically decide, I'm like that, so I can't do anything. But yet we will feel very repulsed by the gangster who says such a thing, but then not towards the person who is having depression. And this is the, whoever cry gets sympathy votes. You know, oh yeah, poor thing. How if the gangster, oh yeah, I have no choice. Then it's okay to be a gangster. Then it's okay to kill people. Yeah, so anyway, I really don't know how to help people who think that I have depression, I cannot do anything. Besides, I need that basil for you. But there's a huge, that the rest of the Buddha's teaching is for people who are willing to try. Yeah. So those who want to try, if your friend happen to fall into the latter, those who want to try, yeah, he can try asking himself, write a list. The first column is, what are the things that he do for himself? Second column, what are the things that he's currently doing for others? You'll be surprised, huh? Maybe you shouldn't be surprised. That many times, people who in this state are not in service of others. Yeah, but again, this is too broad a statement, and I don't have any figures to back it up. I like to be proven wrong, because then we can understand it better, and then we can say, okay, what else can be done? But so far, what I observe is those in a depressive state tend to have a very short list as far as they in service of others is concerned. Perhaps that's why some studies have found that a certain correlation, yeah, that if people have depression and they start doing volunteering work, then they stop feeling depressed, because you cannot be concerned about yourself and then also because when you are volunteering, you are helping people, then your consideration is less on how I feel, but you start to appreciate that there are many people who need our help, that there is purpose in our life, there's meaning in our life. Yeah. I hope your friend is able to sort things out. I'll be happy to sit down with your friend, either on Zoom or something, to have a chat. Yeah, but let me put this up front first. In the past, I'm like, yeah, let me see how I can help. But now I like to just qualify. I can only help those who are the second category. First category, give me the name, I chant. I cannot do anything. If the person during the session just say, Sifu, you don't understand. When I'm having depression, I cannot do anything. Okay, I chant for you, lor. Because yeah, I have met many cases who are like that. Not all, yeah, a good number of them. They are stuck with the mindset that I have depression, I cannot do anything. Yeah, I'm not upset with them. I feel helpless. Like, what can we do for them? How can you do for anyone who say that they can't do anything? Yeah, I wish we can just say, okay, not depressed. Maybe that's why many people believe in such a concept, that there is someone who is all powerful, who can just make things right. Yeah. The more I learn about various religions, and the more I learn about myself through talking to people, the more I realize that many times religion over humanity, the whole span of time, is more often a reflection of our inadequacy, our need, our wants, our wishes. We wish that there's someone who is able to solve the problems that we cannot solve. We wish that there's someone who can tell us what's going to happen, because we don't know. We wish that there are people who are able to be present everywhere, because we feel insecure, we feel uncertain to have our loved ones be separated from us, and we don't know what's going to happen to them. And we're not talking about death, not just death. We tend to think that, oh, when small kids go to school, they are crying. What? Actually, the mother is equally fearful, Is my son going to be okay? My daughter going to be okay? Yeah, it's just that adults are more able to regulate their emotions, so they don't, yeah. So let me know. I'll be happy to sit down and have a chat with you, to see what can work. Yeah.
Understand. Thank you, Shifu.
Beautiful. Yeah. And Sherry, I don't mean to just snap your question, your statement off, but because when we use terms that is already in use, yeah, within the Buddhist terminology, if you will, yeah, we should be cautious, because otherwise people may draw the wrong impression. Is depression caused by 空虚? Possibly, I don't know. Possibly. I recently shared with a student. I said, actually, many times when I sit down to counsel people, there are many things that is very alien to me. For example, 空虚. I have to say that in my whole life, I've never felt 空虚 before. Yeah. Yeah. Or sometimes students tell me, Sifu, how to overcome loneliness? Actually, I'm the last person you should be asking, because I never felt loneliness before. Not because I'm always surrounded by people. No. But somehow I just don't feel that way. Yeah. I say this not to be like, oh, I'm so good, you're lousy. No. But I'm I'm admitting to you all that sometimes I meet cases, I also don't know how to, because I don't even know how that feels. It's like I told you all, I only had my first headache in my mid-late 20s, you know. So if anybody tell me beforehand, like, oh, I'm having headache, I'll be like, okay, I heard my mom have headache before, I've seen her have headache before, but I really don't understand how it, but now I know. Now I know. Yeah. Yeah. I like to think that I experienced depression before. Yeah. But when I tell some students who have depression, they're like, so that's probably not depression. I'm like, but how do you know? Just as you think I don't know how it feels for you, how do you know how it feels for me? Maybe mine was very severe, but I managed to stand out of it. But yours, maybe it's not so severely. How you know? Don't know. Yeah. All I know is, if we don't try, we will never succeed. We try, we may not succeed. Yeah, we try, we may not succeed, but if we don't try, we have already failed. 阿弥陀佛。愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了。
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛
Till。we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
乖乖。
Thank you, 师父。
阿弥陀佛。
Thank you, 师父。
Have a helpful day ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, then you will not be depressed. I hope. Take care, stay safe.
师父。
Bye bye.
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 Thank you. Bye bye, 师父。
Bye bye. Bye everyone.